Hi guys, once again, it is a very important effect that we are going to learn now. That is a consequence of pressure difference across a curved liquid air interface. The consequence of pressure difference across a curved liquid interface. In the previous video we have learned for the formation of air bubble in water, the interior pressure, internal pressure is greater than external pressure. Pi minus P naught is equal to 2 times SLA by R, 2 times S divided by R, where S is the surface tension. Now we are learning the consequence of this pressure difference Pi minus P naught across a curved liquid air interface as capillary rise. Capillary rise. What do you mean by capillary rise? Rising up of liquid. Through a thin tube. Rising up of liquid through a thin tube. Capillar. You see the word capillar. Capilla means hair like thin tube. Hair thin tube means a tube with a very small opening. A tube with very small opening is called a capillary tube. For example, you might have seen the thermometer. At the bottom, thermometer is having a bulb filled with mercury, and that bulb filled with mercury is attached with thin tube inside. That thin tube of small radius is called capillary tube. So consider a capillary tube being dipped inside water. This is a capillary tube. A hair thin tube is called as capillary. This is a Latin term, Latin word. When we dip a capillary tube inside water, suddenly we observe the rise in the level of water. How does this rise in level of water take place? Against gravity. Is it not against the gravity? So this is called as capillary rise. Rising of liquid through a thin tube against gravity is called capillary rise. So this capillary rise effect can be explained based on the pressure difference. Here it forms a concave surface. As we discussed earlier, it forms concave surface or concave meniscus. And the angle of contact here with the glass surface is acute angle. Acute angle of contact. The angle of contact between glass tube and water surface is acute angle theta. Okay, let us say that we have taken a capillary tube of radius small a. Let the radius of this capillary tube be a, so that diameter is 2a, right? When a capillary tube of radius a is dipped inside, suddenly we find the rise in the level of water. This rise in the level of water is called as capillary rise. So this rise in the level of water, from the water surface is explained again as a consequence of pressure difference. You see here, this is internal pressure Pi, and here is forming external pressure P naught. The internal pressure Pi on the concave surface is more than the external pressure P naught, which is there inside the liquid on the convex surface. Right? This pressure difference causes the water level to rise until it becomes equilibrium. Here the internal pressure, you can imagine that it is a part of a spherical bubble. It is a part of a spherical bubble of radius r. Where we find Pi as the internal pressure and P naught as the external pressure. P naught as the external pressure. I think you got the point now. So inner pressure, internal pressure Pi is greater than P naught. As a result of this pressure difference, consequence of pressure difference across a third liquid air interface is resulting into capillary rise. Right? Let h be the height. H be the capillary rise. That is height of the liquid from the surface through which it is raised. Height of the liquid from the surface through which it is raised to the capillary tube. Now, the pressure difference can be written here with the help of the surface tension. Now, we know that pressure difference inside an air bubble, pressure difference inside an air bubble is given by Pi minus P naught is equal to 2 times S. S means liquid air interface divided by R, where R is the radius of this concave surface, where R is the radius of the bubble, that is radius of concave surface. So I will draw one more diagram so that you will understand clearly. Same one I am drawing a little bigger in size. So that it appears clearly. This is the concave surface and this is the radius A. A is the radius of tube. Here A is radius of the capillary tube, thin capillary tube. And what is R? R is the radius of this concave surface. Suppose I am taking this point as the center of this spherical rock, center of this spherical bubble, and this gives us the radius. This gives us radius. Now, this is the water that has raised. The water that has raised from the water level. From this level, it has raised through height h. Let us take through height h. Now, angle of contact here is theta. As I have written here, theta is acute angle of contact. As I have written already have written, theta is the acute angle of contact. Right? Now, from this equation, Pi minus P naught is equal to 2s upon r. We don't know the radius of this concave surface. Right? We don't know the radius of this concave surface. But we can substitute this concave surface radius r in terms of A using this angle theta. If this is the angle theta, we can prove that this is also going to be forming same angle theta here, because this is tangent drawn at the concave surface. The tangent drawn at the concave surface is perpendicular to the radius. The tangent is always perpendicular to the radius. Okay. Now this angle theta plus this interior angle is 90 degree. Right? This angle theta plus interior angle is 90 degree. Then this interior angle plus this angle is 90 degree. So this interior angle is common. Therefore, we prove that if theta is the acute angle of contact, then this angle is also same angle theta. So using this, I can write what is the value of r from the diagram. Cos theta from the diagram. Using trigonometric relations, we have cos theta. Cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. It forms a right angle triangle. Right? It forms a right angle triangle. Adjacent, that is base divided by the hypotenuse. Base is A and hypotenuse is R. We want R. Therefore, R is equal to A by cos theta. R is equal to A by cos theta. So now substitute this here. Therefore, pressure difference. The pressure difference which causes the liquid to rise, which causes the capillary rise, that pressure difference Pi minus P naught is now going to be as a consequence of surface tension 2s upon R. So I can write what is R. R is equal to A by cos theta. R is equal to A by cos theta. So cos theta comes to the numerator. Thus it becomes 2s cos theta by R. 2s cos theta by R. Call this equation number 1. Now this pressure difference causes the liquid to rise, that is one thing, through a height h, and that pressure difference is a consequence of the surface tension, that is surface energy of the liquid air interface at the concave meniscus. Yesterday we discussed it is forming a concave meniscus for liquids like water, which is having acute angle of contact. Yesterday we have discussed this acute angle of contact. Okay. Now we shall calculate what is this height h. Now you know pressure Pi here is nothing but atmospheric pressure, and pressure at A is also atmospheric pressure because it is exposed to air. So pressure at A is atmospheric pressure, and you know from this diagram pressure at A must be equal to pressure at B in equilibrium. In equilibrium, pressure at A must be equal to pressure at B. Right? Now, what is pressure at B? Pressure at B is the absolute pressure. Absolute pressure here. What is absolute pressure? Pi plus H rho G. Gauge pressure here is H. If rho is the density of the liquid like water, then it is going to be Pi plus H rho G is the pressure at B. Let me write that equation here. From the diagram, pressure at A is equal to pressure at B. From the diagram, when the liquid is in equilibrium, at height h, pressure at A is equal to pressure at B. What is pressure at B? Pressure at A is nothing but atmospheric pressure. Pressure at A is nothing but the atmospheric pressure acting on the surface of this liquid. So it means this atmospheric pressure that is exerted on the water surface in this trough is balancing this much height of the liquid. That is absolute pressure plus gauge pressure. Right? Pressure at A is equal to pressure at B. Pressure at B is given by P naught plus H rho G, where P naught is the pressure at the concave surface. You see, this is the P naught that is acting at the concave surface. P naught plus the gauge pressure due to the liquid of height H, where you can write rho is the density. Rho is the density of the liquid. Liquid like water that is taken. Water is the example that we have taken. Therefore, rho becomes the density of water and H is the capillary height. Now we can calculate what is capillary height. Now Pi, you see here, Pa is nothing but atmospheric pressure, which is also equal to Pi, because this is also exposed to atmosphere. So the pressure that is exerted here on the concave surface is nothing but atmospheric pressure. So this is Pa is also equal to Pi, that is atmospheric pressure. So from this I can write Pi is equal to, this implies Pi is equal to P naught plus H rho G. Thus implies, this implies Pi minus P naught is equal to H rho G. All this equation 2. Now substitute equation number 1 in equation number 2. We know what is Pi minus P naught. It is equal to 2s upon 2s cos theta by r, where r is the radius of this concave surface of the meniscus. You can just now write, therefore, substituting equation 1 into equation 2, we get 2s cos theta by r. 2s cos theta by r is equal to H rho G. Thus we get what is the value of the capillary height H. Therefore, capillary height H is equal to 2s cos theta by r rho G. This rho and G come to the denominator, so it becomes H is equal to 2s cos theta by r rho G. This becomes capillary height. So from this equation it is quite evident that the capillary height is inversely proportional to the radius of the tube. Capillary height is inversely proportional to radius of the tube. And also, capillary height is inversely proportional to radius of the concave meniscus also. Here, r is the radius of concave meniscus. R by cos theta is radius of the tube. So, smaller the radius of the tube, smaller the opening of the tube, greater is the height, larger is the height, capillary rise. And it is also inversely proportional to the density of the liquid. Thinner the density, lower the density of the liquid, greater is the capillary rise. For example, if you take water here, it will have some value of H. Instead of water, if you take kerosene of the same amount and dip the same capillary tube of same radius, then the height of capillary rise will be more, because density of kerosene is lesser than density of water. So capillary rise is inversely proportional to density. So we can write, therefore H is inversely proportional to R by cos theta. That is, H is inversely proportional to radius of the tube. This is one. Inversely proportional to radius of the tube. Capillary tube. And H is inversely proportional to the density. And H is directly proportional to, look at this, H is directly proportional to surface tension. This is very, very important. Greater the surface tension, greater is the capillary rise. Greater is the capillary rise. Okay. So this is how we study the very important phenomenon, that is capillary rise. The ascent of sap that you might have studied in botany, in biology. The water rises through the roots and reaches the leaves through the xylem and phloem, I think. Through the xylem, and it reaches the leaf surface. This is called ascent of sap. The ascent of sap is mainly due to the surface tension, and it is studied as capillary rise. It is studied as capillary rise. And one more example I gave, the rise of liquid like kerosene, the rise of liquid like kerosene through the wick, cotton wick of a lamp. If you consider kerosene lamp, it has a cotton wick dipped in the kerosene taken in the container. So the kerosene rises through the cotton fibers of the wick and reaches the tip. That is by this capillary rise. So the capillary rise is again a consequence of pressure difference, and pressure difference is consequence of surface tension. This is how we relate capillary rise, ascent of sap, directly to the property of surface tension and pressure difference. Okay. Now let us see one simple example for example of water. We know density of water, 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube. Suppose radius of the tube is 0.05 centimeter. 0.05 centimeter. Right? Then what is the capillary rise? For a capillary tube of radius 0.05 centimeter, what is the capillary rise H? If this question is asked, we can very easily calculate using this equation. Let us see. So for a capillary tube of radius 0.05 centimeter, if it is dipped in water, what is the capillary rise? We take this equation. Now here surface tension of water, we know from the table, from the data, surface tension of water at room temperature, say 20 degrees Celsius, is 0.072 Newton per meter. S is equal to 0.072 Newton per meter. 72 dyne per centimeter. That's how we can remember. 72 dyne per centimeter or 0.072 Newton per meter. So substituting this, and here for this fine tube of 0.05 centimeter, let us say we take theta to be smallest one, say 0 degree. If angle of contact theta is taken as 0 degree, then cos 0 is taken as 1. Then equation becomes H is equal to 2s upon r rho g, or r upon cos theta. R upon cos theta itself is a, so we need not assume this also. A is directly given. A is 0.05 centimeter, that is equal to 0.05 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. So A is also equal to what? R upon cos theta. So this equation becomes, now you see, therefore H becomes 2s upon R upon cos theta. R upon cos theta is A. It becomes A rho g. 2s upon A rho g, because A is equal to R upon cos theta. R upon cos theta is in the numerator. So if you substitute this, we get 2 into 0.072 divided by 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into 10 raised to 3. The density of water is 10 raised to 3 gram per kg per meter cube, and acceleration due to gravity 9.8. If you substitute this, it comes out to be 2.98 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. That is 2.98 centimeter. This is the capillary rise. So it is quite evident that the capillary height is inversely proportional to the radius of the tube. Smaller the radius of the tube, larger is the capillary rise. Larger is the capillary rise. Okay, this is how one can calculate the capillary rise. Now, one more important thing is that H is directly proportional to cos theta value, that is angle of contact. Important point. H is directly proportional to cos theta, where theta is angle of contact. Where theta is angle of contact. As we discussed earlier, angle of contact for wetting liquids, angle of contact for the liquids which stick to the glasses is acute angle. Therefore, for acute angle of contact, there is capillary rise. H is positive. Here, H is greater than 0, that is positive for theta acute angle. For liquids like mercury, the angle of contact is obtuse. We have studied in the previous video. For non-wetting liquids, so for non-wetting or non-sticking liquids with the solids like mercury, interesting thing takes place. Here very interesting thing takes place. Theta is more than 90 degree. That is obtuse angle of contact. They will have obtuse angle of contact. So when there is obtuse angle of contact, what happens? Very interesting result takes place. For obtuse angle of contact, see, mercury like liquid where it is taken in a capillary tube, it will form obtuse angle. This is the mercury and it will form a convex surface. It will form a convex surface with the solid. This angle made in the interior side of the liquid is obtuse angle. This is mercury. So when you take such mercury in mercury trough, suppose you have taken a capillary tube and dipped in mercury trough, very interesting thing takes place. H becomes negative because cos 90 plus theta is negative. In the second quadrant, cosine is negative. So when 90 plus theta is negative, then the height, instead of capillary height, it becomes capillary fall. This is interesting. So for non-sticking liquids like mercury, where theta is greater than 90, obtuse angle of contact, cos theta is less than 0. Cos theta is less than 0. Then H becomes 2s upon A rho g with a negative value. That is, it becomes capillary fall. Capillary fall. So there is no capillary rise. If you take such a capillary tube inside water, inside a mercury, interesting thing takes place. Suppose this is a mercury trough. So mercury trough will have a convex surface. If a capillary tube is dipped, because of high surface energy of liquid glass interface, capillary fall takes place. So H is going to be negative. So this is the consequence of surface tension, high energy surface tension. Here it is mainly explained based on the intermolecular force. The intermolecular force between the mercury like liquids with the glass is repulsive. Here mercury doesn't stick to the glass. Mercury doesn't stick to the glass. The reason is the surface energy per unit area of mercury with the solid is very high. The reason is the intermolecular force between the glass molecules and the mercury molecules is repulsive. Whereas in the case of water like liquids which are sticky, the intermolecular force between water and glass is attractive. That's how, due to attractive intermolecular forces, the water rises up, causing a pressure difference. Here capillary fall takes place. So this is the again consequence of surface tension. Okay, I think I have given you the enough information regarding capillary rise. The liquid like water which is wetting the surface will have a capillary rise, whereas liquids like mercury which are non-wetting, non-sticking to the glass will have a capillary fall because of obtuse angle of contact. When it is obtuse angle of contact, then cos theta comes into the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, cos is negative. When cos is negative, for obtuse angle, cos is negative, then H becomes negative. Okay. We will continue this in the next session. Thank you. Have a nice day.